Oh, did I change the thumb? I didn't change the thumbnail. I gotta clear up my phone, man. Not too many thumbnails in there. And memes. Phone is packed with memes and thumbnails. Okay, now we fix the thumbnail to the new one. Oh, did Jeremy said he sent me something to tell me how to get rid of the stupid dun 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 dun. All right. We're in First Kings. New book. I feel like we were on Second Samuel for a while. Let me see. Let me pull this up. I think First Kings was written by Elijah, is what we think, is what the consensus is. Probably still in the Dead Sea Scrolls is the oldest manuscript, but we're going to find out real quick. I know it's an anonymous author. Jewish tradition states it's Jeremiah. However, at least some portion of the book was likely written by someone else. This is the end of David's life. Gad and Nathan, it hasn't said that either of them have died yet. Gad was mentioned in the end of Second Samuel, so at least Gad is still alive. So it's possible he could have written some of this, but Jewish tradition holds to Jeremiah. Jeremiah would have lived through this. His prophecies come much later, but he would have lived through this. This is the story where we left off in 2 Samuel. David's dying. He's getting old. Political enemies are rising up on every side. And in the beginning of 1 Kings, also known as 3 Kings, because 1 and Samuel are also known as 1 and 2 Kings. Here in 3 Kings, we're going to see the death of David and the rising of Solomon. Solomon the wise, the wisest king who ever lived. But what we'll see here is a warning. I think I should have explained that better to Shiva, that a lot of these crazy stories in the Old Testament are warnings. Until we're born again, we live in the Old Testament. The world is the Old Testament. Being born again is the New Testament. It's the new life. When you live in the Old Testament, crazy stuff happens. It gets crazy in the Old Testament now. But we're on 1 Kings. Okay, Jeremiah said that already. However, at least some portion of the book was likely written by someone else. Jeremiah did not travel to Babylon, and the final section of 2 Kings is set in Babylon. I don't know if Nathan or Gad would have been alive at that point. I don't need a summary. I need the date of the oldest manuscript. It's going to be Dead Sea Scrolls. I do know 2 Samuel was not complete in the Dead Sea Scrolls. 1 King. Wait. Date. The book was most likely written during the Babylonian exile. a period from roughly 561 to 538 BC. This is supported by the fact that the book concludes with the exile of King Jehoiachin in 2 Kings 25, 27 to 30. It's a lot of royal begats in here, and we're going to see the building of an even bigger tabernacle, the temple. The temple's going to be built twice the size of the tabernacle from the Exodus story. Much bigger, much fancier, a lot more gold. This is the house for God that David asked God if he could build for him. And David said, wait, you're going to build my people. Somebody else is going to build the house. That somebody else is Solomon. But David, as he's dying, is he's weak. He's being beset on all sides by political opponents, people that want to take his kingdom because they know he's coming to an end. And David's still got another son left, so he's still got somebody to rise up against him. So let's get into that in chapter 1. Now King David was old and stricken in years, and they covered him with clothes, but he gat not heat. So he was cold, he was shivering. Wherefore his servants said unto him, let there be sought for my lord the king a young virgin, and nice, and let her stand before the king, and let her cherish him. Ooh, and let her lie in thy bosom, that my lord the king may get heat. Oh, so he wants somebody to cuddle up. They said, let's get a young girl in here for the king and let her cuddle up. Okay. Yo, his men got, they got his best interest at heart. So they sought for a fair damsel throughout all the coasts of Israel, and found Abishag, a Shunammite, and brought her to the king. And the damsel was very fair, and cherished the king, and ministered to him. But the king knew her not. So he didn't sleep with her. He just cuddled with her. It was a cuddle buddy. They just snuggled to keep him warm. Then Adonijah, the son of Adonijah, the son of Haggith, exalted himself, saying, I will be king. And he prepared him chariots and horsemen and 50 men to run before him. And his father had not displeased him at any time in saying, why hast thou done so? And he also was a very goodly man, and his mother bare him after Absalom. So this guy's related to Absalom. And he conferred with Joab. Joab still trifling. The son of Zeruiah with Abiathar the priest. And they followed Adonijah, helped him. So this guy's trying to rise up against David. And the same characters, dang Joab, Absalom's brother, Abiathar, up in this mix, of course, plotting. Heavy lies the crown, they say. Heavy lies the crown. But Zadok the priest, and Benaniah the son of Jehoiada, and Nathan the prophet, and Shimei and Rei, the mighty men which belonged to David, were not with Adonijah. And Adonijah slew sheep and oxen and fat cattle by the son of Zoheleth, which is by Engrogel, and called all his brethren the king's son, and all the men of Judah the king's servants. But Nathan the prophet, and Benaiah, and the mighty men, and Solomon his brother, he called not. Wherefore Nathan spake unto Bathsheba, the mother of Solomon, saying, Hast thou not heard that Adonijah, the son of Haggith, doth reign, and David our Lord knoweth it not? Now therefore come, let me, I pray thee, give thee counsel, that thou mayest save thine own life, and the life of thy son Solomon. Go and get thee in unto King David, and say unto him, Didst not thou, my lord, O king, swear unto thine handmaid, saying, Assuredly Solomon thy son shall reign after me, and he shall sit upon my throne. Why then doth Adonijah reign? Well, go do something about it. David old. Bathsheba? Send dang Nathan and Solomon and all them boys out there, the mighty men. Send them. David's tired, man. Let him snuggle. He's trying to cuddle up with a young damsel. Behold. So she's saying, wait, what's she saying? They're telling Bathsheba, yo, go talk to David and say, isn't Solomon supposed to be in charge after you die? Why is this Adonijah guy rising up? We got to do something about this, David. Behold, while thou yet talkest there with the king, I also will come in after thee and confirm thy words. And Bathsheba went in unto the king into the chamber, and the king was very old. And Abishag, the Shunammite, ministered unto the king. I don't know what they mean by ministered. And Bathsheba bowed and did obeisance unto the king. Nice. I like when they bow and do obeisance. And the king said, what wouldest thou? And she said unto him, my lord, thou swearest by the Lord thy God unto thy handmaid, saying, assuredly Solomon thy son shall reign after me, and he shall sit upon thy throne. And now behold, Adonijah reigneth, and now, my lord the king, thou knowest it not. And he hath slain oxen and fat cattle and sheep in abundance, and hath called all the sons of the king, and Abiathar the priest, and Joab the captain of the host. But Solomon thy servant hath he not called. And thou, my lord, O king, the eyes of all Israel are upon thee, that thou shouldest tell them who shall sit on the throne of my lord the king after him. Otherwise, it shall come to pass when my lord the king shall sleep with his fathers, that I and my son Solomon shall be counted offenders. Uh-oh. You got to do something about this, David. And lo, while she yet... Dude, it feels like Game of Thrones now. Like, the whole mood's changed. The writing's different. The vibe's different. We in Game of Thrones mode now. And lo, while she yet talked with the king, Nathan the prophet also came in. And they told the king, saying, Behold, Nathan the prophet. And when he was come in before the king, he bowed himself before the king with his face to the ground. And Nathan said, My lord, O king, hast thou said, Adonijah shall reign after me, and he shall surely sit on my throne? He shall surely sit. Not shall surely sit upon my throne? For he is gone down this day, and hath slain oxen and fat cattle and sheep in abundance, and hath called all the king's sons and the captains of the host, and Abiathar the priest. And behold, they eat and drink before him, and say, God save King Adonijah. These damn darn traitors making me cuss. Darn traitors. Verse 26. But me, even me thy servant, and Zadok the priest, and Benaniah the son of Jehoiada, and thy servant Solomon he not called. So they didn't call them. These are the remaining few. Nathan's there. Nathan's a G. Solomon's there. Benaiah is there. Is this thing done by my lord the king? And thou hast not showed it unto thy servant, who should sit on the throne of my lord the king after him? Then King David answered and said, Call me Bathsheba. And she came into the king's presence and stood before the king. And the king sware and said, As the Lord liveth, that hath redeemeth my soul out of all distress. Even as I swear unto thee by the Lord God of Israel, saying, Assuredly Solomon thy son shall reign after me, and he shall sit upon my throne in my stead. Even so will I certainly do this day. Then Bathsheba bowed with her face to the earth and did reverence to the king, and said, Let my lord King David live forever. Based. And King David said, Call me Zadok the priest, and Nathan the prophet, and Benaiah the son of Jehoiada. And they came before the king. The king also said unto them, Take with you the servants of your lord, and cause Solomon my son to ride upon mine own mule, and bring him down to Gihon. And let Zadok the priest and Nathan the prophet anoint him there king over Israel, and blow ye with the trumpet, and say, God save King Solomon. Second. Solomon anointed. Well, he hasn't been anointed yet, but these are how they're going to anoint him. Then ye shall come after him, that he may come and sit upon mine throne, for he shall be king in my stead. And I have appointed him to be ruler over Israel and over Judah. And Benaiah the son of Jehoiada answered the king, and said, Amen, the Lord God of my lord the king say so too. As the Lord hath been with my lord the king, even so be he with Solomon, and make his throne greater than the throne of my lord King David. We covered Solomon in a Monday night show years ago, and then I made a video of it. I clipped it and made a video. It's on the channel. I just go through all of First Kings and some of Second Kings in like an hour, so it's much more concise and trimmed up. The whole story. I'm just highlighting some key points here about the appointment of Solomon. So Zadok the priest and Nathan the prophet and Benaiah the son of Jehoiada and the Cherethites and the Pelethites went down and caused Solomon to ride upon King David's mule and brought him to Gihon. And Zadok the priest took an horn of oil out of the tabernacle and anointed Solomon. And they blew the trumpet, and all the people said, God save King Solomon. And all the people came up after him, and the people piped with pipes and rejoiced with great joy, so that the earth rent with the sound of them. It was splitting the earth, not literally, flat earthers. And Adonijah and all the guests that were with him heard it, as they had made an end of eating. And when Joab heard the sound of the trumpet, he said, Wherefore is this noise of the city being in an uproar? And while he yet spake, behold, Jonathan, the son of Abiathar the priest, came. And Adonijah said unto him, Come in, for thou art a valiant man, and bringest good tidings. No, he doesn't. And Jonathan answered and said to Adonijah, Verily our Lord, King David, hath made Solomon king. He did not come with good tidings. You're not very perceptive, Adonijah. Not very perceptive, my boy. And the king hath sent with him Zadok the priest, and Nathan the prophet, and Benaiah the son of Jehoiada, and the Cherethites, and the Perethites, and they have caused him to ride upon the king's mule. And Zadok the priest, and Nathan the prophet, have anointed him king in Gihon. And they are come up from thence rejoicing, so that the city rang again. This is the noise that ye have heard. Dun, dun, dun. He's not happy about that. So much for good tidings. And also Solomon sitteth on the throne of the kingdom. And moreover, the king's servants came to bless our Lord King David, saying, God make the name of Solomon better than thy name, and make his throne greater than thy throne. And the king bowed himself upon the bed. And also thus said the king, Blessed be the Lord our God of Israel, which hath given one to sit on my throne this day, mine eyes even seeing it. So, blessed be the Lord God of Israel, which has given one to sit on my throne this day. So God gives the king. This is a theme throughout the Bible, by the way, that God appoints the rulers. Anyway, and all the guests that were with Adonijah were afraid and rose up and went every man his way. And Adonijah feared because of Solomon, and arose and went and caught hold on the horns of the altar. And it was told Solomon, saying, Behold, Adonijah feareth King Solomon, for lo, he hath caught hold of the horns of the altar, saying, Let King Solomon swear unto me today that he will not slay his servant with the sword. Oh, so he's scared us. Wait, he's grabbing the horns of the altar of the covenant, the Ark of the Covenant, the altar in the current temple, just the horns of the altar. These are horns on the side of the altar. What's up, Gorilla Biscuits? You guys already missed some good stuff. David's old, and he was shivering in bed. So they gave him a little cuddy buddy. They gave him a little snuggle bunny. He never went in unto her though. He just cuddled up with her. He was big spooning a young damsel. Let's get it. Where was I? Adonijah feared he doesn't want to get killed by Solomon. And Solomon said, if he will show himself a worthy man, there shall not an hair of him fall to the earth. But if wickedness shall be found in him, he shall die. Let's go. The vibe has totally changed. David was very forgiving, you know? David did chop some heads off, but David was also always like, I'd rather not kill him. If God wants me to kill him, wants him to kill me, he'll kill me, or I'll kill him, or I don't want to kill Saul. I don't want to kill Absalom. But now Solomon's here. He's like, yo, if he's righteous, he'll live. If he's wicked, he dead. So King Solomon sent, and they brought him down from the altar. And he came and bowed himself to King Solomon. And Solomon said unto him, go to thine house. He just looked at him. He said, you're bowed in front of me. You know who's in charge now, right? And he could look into his eyes and see. That's that wisdom of Solomon. He just looked at him. He said, go to your house. Now, this may come back to bite him in the butt later, but I don't think it. I'm not sure. I can't remember. Chapter 2. Solomon's in charge now. Now the days of David drew nigh that he should die, and he charged Solomon his son, saying, I go the way of all the earth. Be thou strong, therefore, and show thyself a man. That's his father's commands to him before he dies. He's just made him king. He says, I go the way of all the earth. Be thou strong, therefore, and show thyself a man. That's gangster. And keep charge of the Lord thy God, to walk in his ways, to keep his statutes and his commandments, and his judgments and his testimonies, as it is written in the law of Moses, that thou mayest prosper in all that thou doest, and whitherso thou turnest thyself, that the Lord may continue his word which he spake concerning me, saying, if thy children take heed to their way, to walk before me in truth, with all their heart and with all their soul, there shall not fall thee, said he, a man on the throne of Israel. Fire. I like just that first verse, though, but adding all this to it is still good. Now he keeps going. I'm not going to highlight all of it, but that little chunk right there, I like that. Okay, but there's more. He's not done yet. Generally, these people aren't concise. They're a little long-winded. Moreover, thou knowest also what Joab, the son of... Oh, now he's giving him the deets. He's giving him the deets on the kingdom. He's like, you're king now. Check it out. Joab's a snake. Your captain is a snake. A bunch of them hate you. They all want your job. So here's the deets. Moreover, thou knowest also what Joab, the son of Zeruiah, did to me, and what he did to the two captains of the host of Israel, unto Abner, the son of Ner, and unto Amasa, the son of Jether, whom he slew, and shed the blood of war in peace, and put the blood of war upon his girdle that was about his loins, and in his shoes that were on his feet. Whew, getting a little... David's got some pent-up aggression towards dang Joab and Zeruiah. Do therefore according to thy wisdom, and let not his whore head, whore spelled H-O-A-R, not W-H-O-R. Not that the Bible wouldn't use that word if it chose to, which it does quite frequently, but in this case, it's H-O-A-R, not W-H-O-R-E. Okay? Okay. Let not his whore head go down to the grave in peace. Do therefore according to thy wisdom, and let not his whore head go down to the grave in peace. Well, that doesn't really say. It's like do what you think's best, but don't let his head go down in peace. I don't know. What are you saying there, David? Oh wait, no. Wait. But show kindness unto the sons of Barzillai, the Gileadite, and let them be of those that eat at thy table, for so they came to me when I fled because of Absalom thy brother. But he dead now. Carnal for a girl, Carnala? Whorehead. I don't know. Let's Google it. We're on chapter 9. I think we've looked this up before. I just can't remember. Whorehead. Hoar. Head. Bible. The Bible, hoary head with a Y. There's no Y here. Hoary head generally refers to gray or white hair associated with old age. So do not let his gray-haired head go down in peace. Do therefore according to thy wisdom, and let not his hoar head go down to the grave in peace. Here, hoary head is used in the context of justice, implying that wrongdoing, even in old age, should not go unpunished. Based. Okay. And behold, that thou hast with thee Shimei, the son of Jerah, the Benjamite of Bahurim, which cursed me with a grievous curse in the day when I went to Mananaim. But he came down to meet me at Jordan, and I swear to him by the Lord, saying, I will not put thee to death with the sword. Now therefore hold him not guiltless, for thou art a wise man, and knowest what thou oughtest do unto him. But his hoar head bring thou down to the grave with blood. He's warning David about the ops. Or David's warning Solomon about the ops. He found a loophole. He's like, I promise I won't kill you with my sword. But then on his deathbed, he's like, Solomon, that dude was a real jerk, but I had to swear to him that I wouldn't kill him so that he would help us out. Now you do what you think's best, but don't let his whorehead bring blood on your house. So basically, again, I think he's telling him what to do. So David slept with his fathers and was buried in the city of David. The end of David. It's always very like, it'll be a long, drawn out speech, and then when they die, it's just like, and he slept with his fathers. That story's over. Moving on. It's like what it feels like sometimes. People die very abruptly in the Bible. In the days that David reigned over, I think we have some begats here for a bit. Maybe not. Oh, Adonijah. They got to deal with Adonijah still. In the days that David reigned over Israel were 40 years. 7 years reigned he in Hebron, and 33 years reigned he in Jerusalem. Then sat Solomon upon the throne of David his father, and his kingdom was established greatly. And Adonijah, the son of Haggith, came to Bathsheba, the mother of Solomon, and she said, Comest thou peaceably? And he said, Peaceably. He said, Moreover, I have somewhat to say unto thee. And she said, Say on. And he said, Thou knowest that the kingdom was mine, and that all Israel set their faces on me, that I should reign. Howbeit the kingdom is turned about, and is become my brother's, for it was his from the Lord. And now I ask one petition of thee, deny me not. And she said unto him, Say on. And he said, Speak, I pray thee, unto Solomon the king, for he will not say thee nay, that he give me Abishag the Shunammite to wife. And Bathsheba said, Well, I will speak for thee unto the king. Bathsheba therefore went unto King Solomon to speak unto him for Adonijah. And the king rose up to meet her and bowed himself unto her. Oh, he bowed to her. That's wild. Solomon is a simp, though, as we're going to see later on. And sat down on his throne and caused a seat to be set for the king's mother. Well, it's his mother, so, you know. And she sat on his right hand. And she said, I desire one small petition of thee. I pray thee, say me not nay. And the king said unto her, Ask on my mother, for I will not say thee nay. You can never promise not to say no before they ask the question. That's walking into a trap. I got to ask you something. You got to promise not to say no. And you're going to be like, go on, I promise not to say no. Is you crazy, Solomon? I thought you were the wisest man ever. That's a mistake. And she said, Let Abishag the Shunammite be given to Adonijah thy brother to wife. The guy who tried to steal the kingdom from dad? That guy? I'm going to give him a wife? What for? And King Solomon answered and said unto his mother, And why dost thou ask Abishag the Shunammite for Adonijah? Ask for him the kingdom also, for he is mine elder brother, even for him, and for Abiathar the priest, and for Joab the son of Zeruiah. Ask for him the kingdom also. He's saying, why does he ask me for a wife? Why don't you just ask me to give him the kingdom? And I can give Joab the kingdom, and I can give all these real jerks the kingdom. Then King Solomon sware by the Lord, saying, God do so to me, and more also, if Adonijah have not spoken this word against his own life. Do so to me, and more also to Adonijah, and more also, if Adonijah have not spoken this word against me, against his own life. Now therefore, as the Lord liveth, which hath established me, and set me on the throne of David my father, and who hath made me an house, as he promised Adonijah, Adonijah shall be put to death this day. Okay, yeah. So I guess Solomon's like, wow, he's asking for a wife after he tried to take the kingdom. He gone. And King Solomon sent by the hand of Benaniah, the son of Jehoiada, and he fell upon him that he died. And unto Abiathar the priest said the king, Get thee to Anathoth unto thine own fields, for thou art worthy of death. But I will not at this time put thee to death, because thou bearest the ark of the Lord God before David my father, and because thou hast been afflicted in all wherein my father was afflicted. So Solomon thrust out Abiathar from being priest unto the Lord, that he might fulfill the word of the Lord which he spake concerning the house of Eli and Shiloh. So he was a Levite. Abiathar was a Levite, and he was one of the ops too. And David just said, "You're banished. I'm not going to kill you. You're a Levite. You serve the Lord, but you don't got to go home. But you got to get the heck up out of my kingdom." Based. Solomon's pretty based. My bookmark fell out. Okay, in Shiloh. So he sent Abiathar to Shiloh. Maybe that's one of those safe cities. Elios Ned un im. I don't know what that means. I don't like reading other languages. All right. These are long chapters, by the way. Then tidings came to Joab, for Joab had turned after Adonijah. Though he turned not after Absalom. And Joab fled unto the tabernacle of the Lord and caught hold of the horns of the altar. I guess that's a way of like saying, please don't kill me. Please don't kill me. You grab hold of the horns of the altar, then they come and they meet you there. And then they bring you to the king and he decides. Okay, so they're saying Joab did follow Adonijah, but he did not follow Absalom. He did kind of follow Absalom at some points. But he did follow Adonijah, but he didn't follow Joab as much. He was still helping David during Absalom's attempt at the kingdom. Hello, Pastor Huckleberry. But Joab did go along with this recent dude. Adonijah. So now they said, go get Joab. Bring Joab to see me. Now, one of them's already been killed. Adonijah's dead. Benaniah has been sent away to be a priest in some faraway land. Now Joab's like, oh crap, I'm done for. So he runs to the altar and grabs the horns. Please help me, God. Please don't kill me. That's basically what that is. And Benaniah came to the tabernacle of the Lord and said unto him, Thus saith the king, come forth. And he said, Nay, but I will die here. And Benaniah brought the king word again, saying, Thus saith Joab. And thus he answered me. And the king said unto him, Do as he has said, and fall upon him, and bury him, that thou mayest take away the innocent blood which Joab shed from me, and from the house of my father. So they said, come see the king. And he said, no, I'd rather die here. I'd rather die here. No, I don't want to go see the king. I'd die here. And so they said, King, he says he's not coming. He'd rather just die there. And David's like, or Solomon's like, all right, handle it. Take care of that. And that's what they did. Olalia. Okay, and the Lord, verse 32, and the Lord shall return his blood upon his own head, who fell upon 2 men more righteous and better than he, and slew them with the sword. My father David, not knowing thereof, to wit, Abner the son of Ner, captain of the host of Israel, and Amasa the son of Jether, captain of the host of Judah. Their blood shall therefore return upon the head of Joab, and upon the head of his seed forever. But upon David and upon his seed, and upon his house, and upon his throne, shall there be peace forever from the Lord. So Benaiah, the son of Jehoiada, went up and fell upon him and slew him. And he was buried in his own house in the wilderness. And the king put Manasseh, the son of Jehoiada, in his room over the host, and Zadok the priest did the king put in the room of Abiathar. So he moved around some, because he just killed his captain, his priest, and his his enemy, his rival, but a strong warrior. If he was able to rally people like that in such a short period of time, Adonijah. And now he just gave new people those jobs. So Benaniah, he's a loyal one. Zadok, he's based. And the king sent and called for Shimei. This is the guy that, see what he does to Shimei, because this is the guy that threw the rocks at David when he was hiding in the wilderness and cursed at him. And David let him live and swore never to kill him. But now David's gone, so Solomon doesn't have that same vow. So let's see what happens to Shimei. And Shimei said unto shall be that thou goest out. Oh, wait. And the king sent and called for Shimei and said unto him, Build thee an house in Jerusalem and dwell there, and go not forth thence any whither. For it shall be that on the day thou goest out and passest over the brook Kidron, thou shalt know for certain that thou shalt surely die. The blood shall be upon thine own head. Does he say he's going to hang himself at the river? And Shimei said unto the king, The saying is good. As my lord the king hath said, so will thy servant do. And Shimei dwelt in Jerusalem many days. And it came to pass at the end of 3 years that 2 of the servants of Shimei ran away into Achish, son of Maacah, king of Gath. And they told Shimei, saying, Behold, thy servants be in Gath. And Shimei arose and saddled his ass, and went to Gath, to Achish, to seek his servants. And Shimei went and brought his servants from Gath. And it was told Solomon that Shimei had gone from Jerusalem to Gath and was come again. And the king sent and called for Shimei and said unto him, Did I not make thee to swear by the Lord and protest unto thee, saying, Know for a certain, on the day thou goest out and walkest abroad any whither, that thou shalt surely die? And thou said unto me, The word that I have heard is good. So basically, Solomon put him on house arrest. He said, Go build yourself a house. You can stay there. But the day you cross over that river, don't come back. you're on house arrest. It's like Florida. Come on vacation, leave on probation, come back on a violation. Dude, this bookmark keeps falling out. I need to remember this page. Now I lost it. Dang it. Hold on a second. Oh, I found it. Okay. Stick this in here. It needs to stay in there. So now Shimei is about to die. Quit speaking in Spanish. I don't like it. I don't know what you're saying. Something about taco flavored kisses, burritos. The word that I have, you said, the word I heard is good. Why then hast thou not kept the oath of the Lord and the commandment that I have charged thee with? The king said moreover to Shimei, thou knowest all the wickedness which thine heart is privy to, that thou didst to David my father. Therefore the Lord shall return thy wickedness upon thine own head. And King Solomon shall be blessed, and the throne of David shall be established before the Lord forever. So the king commanded Benaiah the son of Jehoiada, which went out and fell upon him, that he died. And the kingdom was established in the hand of Solomon. So I think Benaiah is the dang muscle. He's the executioner. He's the heavy hitter. Okay, this is a shorter chapter. Nice. Chapter 3. Solomon prays for wisdom. This is the prayer. This is an important chapter. Chapter 3, 1 Kings chapter 3, Solomon's prayer for wisdom. And Solomon's wise judgment. This is I'm surprised they're not more highlighted in here already. I must have did the Bible study out of my ESV when I did it on the show a while ago. Because I had a whole chunks of notes. But this is a different Bible. Anyway, here we go. Chapter 3. And Solomon made affinity with Pharaoh, king of Egypt, and took Pharaoh's daughter and brought her into the city of David until he had made an end of building his own house and the house of the Lord and the wall of Jerusalem round about. By the way, he's already making mistakes going and marrying an Egyptian woman. Which I'm not just saying that as a joke. That's something Solomon has a problem with, is exotic ladies. Solomon likes the exotic ladies. What can I say? Only the people sacrificed in high places, because there was no house built unto the name of the Lord until those days. And Solomon loved the Lord, walking in the statutes of David his father. Only he sacrificed and burnt offerings in high places. Which, remember, they were told not to do that. He loves doing his sacrifices in high places. And eventually he's going to be falling into idolatry because of women and doing sacrifices in high places. He's already on the wrong track. He's married an Egyptian woman, and he's doing sacrifices on high places. But he's built he's built the new temple. I thought they were going to give us a whole long explanation of the temple being built. I guess not. But those 3 verses are important. That gives us catches us up a bit. There's a little time skip here. Verse 4, and the king went to Gibeon and sacrificed there, for that was the great high place. 1,000 burnt offerings did Solomon offer upon that altar. 1,000 offerings. In Gibeon, the Lord appeared to Solomon in a dream by night, and God said, ask what I shall give thee. And Solomon said, Thou hast showed unto thy servant David, my father, great mercy, according as he walked before thee in truth and in righteousness and in uprightness of heart with thee. And thou hast kept for him his great kindness, that thou hast given him a son to sit on his throne, as it is this day. And now, O Lord my God, thou hast made thy servant king instead of David my father, and I am but a little child. I know not how to go out or come in. He tells God, I'm like a little child. And he's king, by the way, and he's already pretty wise, but he tells God, I'm like a child. I don't know anything. And thy servant is in the midst of thy people, which thou hast chosen, a great people that cannot be numbered nor counted for multitude. Give therefore thy servant an understanding heart to judge thy people, that I may discern between good and bad. For who is able to judge this thy so great a people? Give me the heart to be able to judge and discern with the people. And the speech pleased the Lord that Solomon had asked this thing. And God said unto him, Because thou hast asked this thing, and hast not asked for thyself long life, neither hast asked riches for thyself, nor hast asked the life of thine enemies, but hast asked for thyself understanding to discern judgment. Behold, I have done according to thy words. Lo, I have given thee a wise and an understanding heart, so that there was none like thee before thee, neither after thee shall any arise like unto thee. This is all important stuff. And I have also given thee that which thou hast not asked, both riches and honor, so that there shall not be any among the kings like unto thee all thy days. Because if you have wisdom, and if you can discern righteously, not of yourself, you don't ask for the discernment of yourself, you righteously discern from God, then riches and honor and power and all those things just come with it. It's just part of the deal. Not always, but often. Sometimes God keeps his servants more humble. Sometimes he makes them kings. Some of them wander. Some of them build fortresses. And if thou wilt walk in my ways and keep my statutes and my commandments as thy father David did walk, then I will lengthen thy days. And Solomon awoke, and behold, it was a dream. And he came to Jerusalem and stood before the ark of the covenant of the Lord, and offered up burnt offerings, and offered peace offerings, and made a feast to all his servants. Then came there two women that were harlots unto the king, and stood before him. Here we go. This is the story of the two harlots trying to steal a baby. See, back in these days, you couldn't even abort a baby if you wanted to. They're trying to steal babies. Oh, no, whatever, Spanish. No, that's weird, Gorilla Biscuits. Don't talk to Spanish to these Spanish ladies. They need to speak English. Habla inglés. Shoot, what was I just about to say? Oh, we're about to get into the baby splitting. Some atheists and bad faith debaters will use this as an argument for abortion, for post-life abortion. Because what Solomon's about to say here is not quite the same. Not quite the same situation, but anyway. And I wonder if he would have really done it. Let's get to the story first. So then came there. This is Solomon's first big test. This is when the wisdom is going to shine through. And this isn't like the biggest decision he ever makes in the kingdom. This is just an example to show you a little snippet of what Solomon was about and why he was the wisest king ever. So here's the story. Then came there 2 women that were harlots unto the king and stood before him. And the one woman said, O my lord, I and this woman dwell in one house, and I was delivered of a child with her in the house. And it came to pass the 3rd day after that I was delivered, that this woman was delivered also, and we were together. There was no stranger with us in the house, save we 2 in the house. So she has a baby. Then the other hooker she's living with has a baby. 3 days later, nobody else is in the house. There's 2 babies. And this woman's child died in the night because she overlaid on it. So she rolled over on her baby and killed it in the night. And she arose at midnight and took my son from beside me while thine handmaid slept, and laid it in her bosom, and laid her dead child in my bosom. She tried to do the old switcheroo. She tried to do the old hooker dead baby switcheroo. Damn. Dang. I told you the world is the Old Testament. We can be in the New Testament when we're born again. But the world is always the Old Testament is still around today. We're still in the Old Testament. The world is the Old Testament. Because she's trying to do the dang dead hooker baby swap. Can't be doing that. What are you talking about, Leah? I don't even know where all this is coming from. Anyway, the dead hooker baby swap. That's what we're talking about here, okay? This is a crime. This is a crime. We need CSI crime scene investigators here. Special Victims Unit, where are you at? And when I rose in the morning to give my child suck, behold, it was dead. But when I had considered it in the morning, behold, it was not my son which I did bear. Like, I don't recognize my own kid. This baby don't even look like me. You've been sleeping with Jerome. This look like Jerome, baby. This ain't my baby. I slept with Harold. That looked like Harold's baby. That's my baby. You think I don't recognize my baby? I've been giving it suck for 3 days. I know the difference between your baby and my baby. And the other woman said, Nay, but the living is my son, and the dead is thy son. And this said, No, but the dead is thy son, and the living is my son. Thus they spake before the king. So they're bickering. They're saying, No, it's my son. No, it's my son. She's like, that baby don't look like me. That baby looks like me. This baby looks like you. I mean, it seems like it could be simpler to figure out. But Solomon's just going to flex his wisdom bone real quick. What's up, King? And are you crazy? You missed some good stuff, but we're at a good chunk right here. Okay, and this they spake before the king. Then said the king, The one saith, This is my son that liveth, and thy son is the dead. And the other saith, Nay, but thy son is the dead, and my son is the living. And the king said, Bring me a sword. And they brought a sword before the king. And the king said, Divide the living child in 2, and give half to the one and half to the other. Dude, Solomon is legendary status. Yeah, you guys missed we're still talking about the dead hooker baby swap. Solomon's handling it right now. Solomon's solving this problem right now. You say your baby's living, and you say your baby's living. There's one baby, 2 women, and we got one dead baby back at the house that we're going to have to deal with later. But right now, we got one baby, and you're both saying it's yours? And we can't tell by just looking at the babies? All right, bring me a sword. Bring me a sword, guys. He holds the sword up. Shlink! We're going to chop the baby in half, and you're each going to get half a baby. You ready? You ready? He pulls the swing. He swings the sword back, and one of the ladies is like, huh? And the other lady's like, no, 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 wait, 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 wait. It's the only solution. Divide the child, divide the living child in two, and give half to the one and half to the other. Then spake the woman whose the living child was unto the king, for her bowels yearned upon her son. And she said, O my lord, give her the living child, and in no wise slay it. But the other said, let it be neither mine nor nor thine, but divide it. Like, that also doesn't really make much sense there. Why would the other lady just be like, sure, cut it in half? Like, but the one lady's like, no, 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 don't do it. Let it live and give it to her. Obviously, that's the mother. But divide it. Then the king answered and said, give her the living child, and in no wise slay it. She is the mother thereof. And all Israel heard of the judgment which the king had judged, and they feared the king, for they saw that the wisdom of God was in him to do judgment. Now, notice the way that last paragraph is written. It's not that they were like, oh, wow, what a great and righteous, nice king who came up with a great decision to deal with this problem. No, no. They feared him because the judgment of God was in him. They were like, oh, that's what we're doing. Oh, that's how we're going to handle things. It's like Trump. it's like when Trump got in office, you're like, oh, so that's what we're going to be doing. Okay, I'm with it. Let's go. I remember reading this in a children's book full of pictures too. I remember the story of the dude dropping the ark and getting killed by God, and in the picture because they had the flashcards, and we'd read the Bible story, and they'd go through the flashcards. And the one of the dude, he's getting struck by lightning. He puts his arm out, and he's like, he's getting zapped up. Oh yeah, they got pictures of this. We when I did the Solomon Bible study years ago on my show, I used to do slideshows, and so there's a picture of the two women wrestling with the baby, and the king's holding the sword behind him. Yep. Greetings, Bree Rodriguez. Dude, never mind. Where was I? Okay. I'm not gonna highlight all of that, but that is a really cool story. And I have it marked in my other Bible, but not this one. Okay. Chapter 4. We're going to get to chapter 5. Just do sideshows? Nah, you're capping. Just do sideshows? Nah, you're capping. Sideshows. Just do sideshows. Nah, slideshows. Oh no, I used to do slideshows with my Bible studies, and it worked because I wasn't debating. I was just telling a story. And so I would just be talking and reading along in the Bible and talking about it and just flowing. I had some notes, and then I had slides. Yeah, I used to do slideshows for Bible studies. You know, I'm telling you, that was just my first debate with a slideshow. With more practice, I could perfect it. I just didn't have time to practice. Practice makes perfect. All right. Chapter 4. So King Solomon was king over all Israel. And here we go. Here's the begats. You guys ready for some begats? I'm going to try to read this really fast if it does this for too long. But we need a little history of the family with Solomon. So King Solomon was king over Israel. And all these were the princes which he had: Azariah, the son of Zadok the priest, Elihoreph, and Ahiah, the sons of Sisha, scribes, Jehoshaphat, the son of Ahilud, the recorder, Benaniah, the son of Jehoiada, was over the host, and Zadok and Abiathar were the priests. And Azariah, the son of Nathan, was over the officers, and Zabud, the son of Nathan, was principal officer and the king's friend. And Ahishar was over the household, and Adoniram, the son of Abda, was over the tribute. And Solomon had 12 officers over all Israel, which provided victuals for the king and his household. Each man his month and a year made provisions. And these are the names: the son of Hur in Mount Ephraim, the son of Dekar in Makaz, and in Shaalabrim, and Bethshemesh, and Elon Bethhanan, the son of Hesed in Aruboth. To him pertained Sokoth and all the land of Hepher, the son of Abinadab, and all the region of Dor, which had Tepath, the daughter of Solomon, to wife. Oh, Taphath, the daughter. Oh, wait. Okay, so this Abinadab is married to Solomon's daughter. Baana, the son of Ahilud, to him pertained Ta'anek and Gibedu, and all Bethshean, which is in Zartanah, beneath Jezreel, from Bethshean to Abel Meholah, even unto a place that is beyond Jokneam, the son of Geber and Ramoth Gilead. To him pertained the towns of Jair, the son of Massaneh, which are in Gilead. To him also pertained the region of Argob, which is in Bashan, 80 great cities with walls and brazen bars. Ahinadab, the son of Edu, had Mahanaim. Ahimaaz was in Naphtali. He also took Basmath, the daughter of Solomon, to wife. Baana, the son of Husai, was in Ashter and in Aloth. Jehoshaphat, the son of Peruah, in Issachar. Shimei, the son of Elah, and Benjamin. Geber, the son of Uri, was in the country of Gilead, and the country of Sihon, the king of the Amorites, and of Og, king of Bashan, and he was the only officer which was in the land. Judah and Israel were many as the sand, which is by the sea in multitude, eating and drinking and making merry. And Solomon reigned over all kingdoms, from the river unto the land of the Philistines, and unto the border of Egypt. They brought presents and served Solomon all the days of his life. And Solomon's provisions for one day was 30 measures of fine flour and 80 measures of meal, 10 fat oxen and 20 oxen out of the pastures, and 100 sheep beside harts, and roebucks and fallow deer and fatted owl. For he had dominion over all the rain on this side the river, from Tifsah even to Azah, over all the kings on this side the river, and he had peace on all sides round about him. And Judah and Israel dwelt safely, every man under his vine and under his fig tree, from Dan even to Beersheba, all the days of Solomon. And Solomon had 40,000 stalls of horses for his chariots, and 12,000 horsemen. And those officers provided victual for King Solomon, and for all that came unto King Solomon's table, every man in his month. They lacked nothing. Barley also and straw for the horses and dromedaries brought they unto the place where the officers were, every man according to his charge. And God gave Solomon wisdom and understanding exceeding much, and largeness of heart, even as the sand that is on the seashore. Yeah, it's often they like to list Solomon's treasures out for quite a while sometimes. Solomon was rich. Let's just say that. What are y'all talking about? Anyway, where was I? And Solomon's wisdom excelled the wisdom of all the children of the east country and all the wisdom of Egypt. For he was wiser than all men, than Ethan the Ezrahite, and Heman, and Chalcol, and Darda, the sons of Mahol, and his fame was in all nations round about. So those must have been some other wise guys. And he spake 3,000 proverbs, and his songs were 1,005. This is why, because Solomon wrote Proverbs, and Solomon wrote, Well, it's suspected that Solomon wrote Song of Songs or Song of Solomon, but it's not known for sure. It could have actually been written by a woman. I think it was written by a woman. But it could also be written by Solomon, one of the songs that he wrote. He wrote a lot of lovey-dovey stuff. This is why I would argue I don't even know for sure that Song of Songs should be in the Bible, because it could have just been poetry, lovey-dovey poetry that Solomon was writing that shouldn't really be in the Bible, because when you read it, they'll try to say it's a metaphor of Jesus and the bridegroom, Jesus being the bridegroom and the church being the bride. That's a stretch. It's about forbidden love. The first section, there's 3 women. The first one is a slave woman, and kings sleeping with their slaves was like forbidden. The second one, you could argue it's another slave woman or just like a lowly woman. It could also be the same as the first woman, and he's just writing about her again because they're very similar. The last one is definitely his sister, without a shadow of a doubt. And he loves her and he thinks about her and he's having fantasies about her. But it doesn't ever say that he sleeps with these women. That's why I argue that Song of Songs, Song of Solomon is about forbidden love. Because he had a weakness for the ladies. But even he was strong enough to not do certain things. He wasn't strong enough to not build idols to a bunch of queens from other nations, but we'll get there eventually. For now, just know Solomon has a penchant for the ladies. He likes the ladies. Okay. And he spake 3,000 proverbs, and his songs were 1,005. And he spake of trees from the cedar tree that is in Lebanon, even unto the hyssop that springeth out of the wall. He spake also of beasts and of fowl, and of creepy things, and of fishes. And there came of all people to hear the wisdom of Solomon, from all kings of the earth, which had heard of his wisdom. We're going to read chapter 5, and then we're going to be wrapping it up, ladies and gentlemen. He likes the ladies. Ever heard of the Trinity, his son, grandson, and brother? Josh, is Solomon the son of David or his grandson? He's the son of David and Bathsheba. All right. Chapter 5. We've caught up to my last front to back reading that I was working on a while ago. Oh my gosh, I just lost this bookmark again. I'm going to put this ribbon on the page that I want marked. And use this when we're done. All right, one more chapter. Yeah, Bathsheba is Solomon's mama. This is their second son. Their first son got killed by God because of what David did. And their second son was Solomon. Chapter 5. Solomon's contract with Hiram. And Hiram, king of Tyre, sent his servants unto Solomon, for he had heard that they had anointed him king in the room of his father. For Hiram was ever a lover of David. And Solomon sent to Hiram, saying, Thou knowest how that David my father could not build an house unto the name of the Lord his God, for the wars which were about him on every side, until the Lord put them under the soles of his feet. That's probably what Sisal was talking about when she said that David wanted to build a house for the Lord, but God said no. That verse right there kind of seems like David wanted to, but he was at war all the time. I haven't found specifically what she said about too much blood on his hands, but maybe that's just from like a sermon she heard where a guy was being descriptive. Because it does say here, David wanted to build a house to the Lord, but couldn't because he was too busy fighting wars all the time. So there was too much blood on his hands. By now the Lord my God hath given me rest on every side, so that there is neither adversary nor evil occurrent. And behold, I propose to build a house unto the name of the Lord my God, as the Lord spake unto David my father, saying, Thy son, whom I will set upon thy throne in thy room, he shall build an house unto my name. Now therefore command thou that they hew me cedar trees out of Lebanon, and my servants shall be with thy servants, and unto thee I will give hire for thy servants, according to all that shalt appoint. For thou knowest that there is not among us any that can skill to hew timber like unto the Sidonians. So he's recruiting the best tree men, the best carpenters, the best tree workers, and he's going to get the best gold workers. He's going to get the best everything, and they're going to build a new temple, a new home for God in the newly established kingdom of Israel under Solomon. And it's going to be glorious because Solomon's rich. And it came to pass when Hiram heard the words of Solomon that he rejoiced greatly and said, Blessed be the Lord this day, which hath given unto David a wise son over this great people. And Hiram sent to Solomon, saying, I have considered the things which thou sentest to me for, and I will do all thy desire concerning timber of cedar and concerning timber of fir. My servants shall bring them down from Lebanon unto the sea, and I will convey them by sea in floats unto the place that thou shalt appoint me. And dinosaurs might have helped too. And will cause them to be discharged there, and thou shalt receive them, and thou shalt accomplish my desire in giving food for my household. So Hiram gave Solomon cedar trees and fir trees, according to all his desire. And Solomon gave Hiram 20,000 measures of wheat for food for his households, and 20 measures of pure oil. Thus gave Solomon to Hiram year by year. And the Lord gave Solomon wisdom, and he promised him, and there was peace between Hiram and Solomon, and they two made a league together. And King Solomon raised a levy out of all Israel, and the levy was 30,000 men. And he sent them to Lebanon 10,000 a month by courses. A month they were in Lebanon, and 2 months at home. And Adoniram was over the levy. And Solomon had 70,000 that bare burdens, and 4,000 hewers in the mountains. Beside the chief of Solomon's officers, which were over the work, 3,300 which ruled over the people that wrought in the work. So explaining how the men that he's sending to get the wood and stuff, it's like 30,000 men. And they got shifts that they take working and coming home, and he set it all up so he can build this amazing temple. And the king commanded, and they brought great stones, costly stones, and hewed stones to lay the foundation of the house. And Solomon's builders and Hiram's builders did hew them, and the stone squares, so they prepared timber and stones to build the house. So they're building the house of the Lord, and that's where we're going to leave off for today. If I can get to sleep early enough, we can play some Wukong tonight. I'm in the mood for some Wukong. Gotta finish chapter 1. All right, guys. Any questions about what you heard today? Anything? Black Myth Wukong, baby. Yeah, we're going to try to play some tonight for like at least an hour. Hour and a half, 2 hours would be nice. But I'm going to head out, guys. Let me see if there's anybody we can raid. James is live. Is he really live, though? Every time I send you to James, his show ends as soon as I send you there. Whatever, we'll go to James. Thank you guys for hanging out. It says scheduled. Now I don't think he's live. Oh yeah, he's live. All right. God bless you guys. Thank you for hanging out. Hopefully, if we get some time, if I can go to bed early enough and wake up early enough, we play some Wukong tonight. I'm ready to finish chapter 1. We only have 3 bosses left, and they're all main. All the other stuff we've done has been like extra stuff so far. We've just clearing everything. But we got 3 main story bosses, and then we finish chapter 1. The boss at the end of chapter 1 is a big boy. So let's go. Thanks for hanging out, guys. God bless. Say hi to James. Put some chairs in his chat. I'll see you later.